The mid-March issue of the Business Journal is out today, and one of the topics in our Brain Gain coverage is building a culture of entrepreneurship. One of those we spoke to for the story was Stephanie Gilchrist, the Regional Director of the Minority Business Assistance Center at the Youngstown Business Incubator, and she joins us here today. Well, Stephanie, thank you very much for being here. Let's start off by talking about SB 105, which got passed, well, I guess when we see this, it'll be roughly 2 weeks ago, signed into law. So basically, from what I understand is this eliminates some hurdles to minority and women and veteran-friendly entrepreneurs by removing the need for them to keep reapplying for certain assistance based on whatever local government they're trying to operate in. Talk a little bit about what this is and how it's going to help your entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. So the question was posed like, how can we eliminate the barriers for minorities and women to do business in the state of Ohio? And our Secretary of State has been working diligently to eliminate barriers, and this was one bill that he introduced, he and Senator Sykes. And so this new House Bill 105 was passed, again, like you said, 2 weeks ago now, but last year, standing in front of the Senate floor to testify on behalf of it. It was all about breaking the barrier of certifications. So my current role is we certify folks to do business in the state of Ohio so that they could get those contracts for the huge corporations or the government officials.
Okay.
This now says you get the certification through the state, guess what? No matter where you move throughout the state, this certification is good, so you don't have to keep getting little certifications for every county you want to bid in.
Which apparently took months to do.
It took months to do, right?
Okay.
Yes, it did. So this now not only breaks that, but then they had to pay extra fees. So to get certified through the Minority Business Assistance Center, it's free. But then if you had to file for another county, that's more money. So that just eliminates all those barriers of more certification and more money.
Right. And you went down and testified, you said.
I did.
Was that fun?
It was so fun. I was so nervous because I've never done that before.
Right.
And there is a protocol when you stand in front of the Senate. So to stand in front of the Senate, like there's a way you ask, they have to ask you questions at the end, but you present it a certain way. So I was learning as
like
I was
Jeopardy.
watching, right? But it was beautiful because when I got there and I saw Senator Mike Ruley, he was the chair, it just made my heart warm up because it was like, okay, there's a familiar face from home. So it made it easier for me to testify. But because I love what I do and I'm passionate, it was just easy to get up there and just say why we needed this bill to pass and what impact it would have on our community.
So what impact is it going to have on our community?
Wow. So we have so many minority businesses and women-owned businesses come in at a disadvantage a lot of times. And a lot of times it is the social economical piece of it. So they don't have the funds to do a lot of things, or they don't have the resources and support. So this here is now, I'll hold your hand through the certification process and my team and the teams throughout the state.
Okay.
And then when you want to just go to your local county to bid on something, guess what? What we did is good enough.
Okay.
So you don't have to now say, so some counties can say, no, you need to get certified through our county protocol to do a contract with us.
Right.
Now you don't have to do that. It just eliminates money and paperwork for us.
It's less work for you, it sounds like.
It's less, well, no, it's not.
Oh, no? It sounded like you're going to have to hold their hand through each certification process.
It does, no. I hold their hand to the huge one. That's that state one.
Sure.
And so for the client, though, and that's what matters, for that client, that minority business owner, it eliminates that barrier for them, and it eliminates some of that pressure they have.
Yeah. So I imagine all of your entrepreneurs were pretty thrilled.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I think more than anything, a lot of us at the state, like our leaders at the state level, were really enthusiastic about this because, again, we know the hard work our clients put in to get certified, and to keep asking them to repeat that process is just not possible.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the current entrepreneurship climate here in the Mahoning Valley.
Yeah.
I looked at some data, and entrepreneurship is up across the U.S., and I was wondering if that is something that you're seeing here locally.
Absolutely. And it's crazy because the numbers were rising pre-COVID.
Okay.
So imagine now with COVID, folks had time to sit at home and rethink their lives and rethink their own personal brand strategies.
Well, I was
And
going to ask you that. Is it a lot of that kind of great resignation thing of,
Yes.
you know what, I'm not really that thrilled with my career. I think now is a good time to go and do it, or, you know, you lost your job or something. Is that what you're seeing?
Yes, absolutely. So folks who lost jobs and those who just realized by not going to work because we were on that shutdown for so long that they were just able to study. And at the time, you know, everyone was offering courses for free and online and things. So people were taking advantage of that. And so in doing so, we just saw a lot of people saying, I'm starting a business. So a lot of my clients today that walk in the door, if I say, when did you start your business? 2020 is the most popular answer.
Okay, really?
It is.
Yeah.
2020 is the most popular answer because to get certified through the state, you have to be in business for 2 years for some certifications, or a year. And so a lot of them are saying 2020.
And maybe I was kind of thinking, for a lot of these entrepreneurs who may have started a brand new career and it's probably something that they really, really believe in, that's why they left their stable career perhaps, does that sort of also give them, I know everyone's talking about the labor shortage, but perhaps for some of these entrepreneurs who are doing sort of something that they feel is meaningful, does that maybe give them an edge now in recruiting employees because now they have this business that they feel is meaningful, and that lets them recruit people who also want to do meaningful work or may have left their careers because they weren't getting maybe enough fulfillment out of it.
Absolutely. So, and then really realizing that a lot of the entrepreneurs we're seeing, they are actually starting businesses in the fields they were working in.
Oh, okay.
So they saw things that they just did not like. So in entrepreneurship, it's always about not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but taking something that already exists and making it better. And so a lot of them, like we have one client, again, started in 2020. This year already she's hired 10 people in her field, right? So the labor shortage, as you stated, yet for some people it's not so good, but then for these startups it is good because it's something new and fresh and an idea, and you get people to buy into that vision, and then there you go, you have a staff of 10 now.
Are there any other ways the pandemic has affected what you're seeing?
Absolutely. So that's the positive side. We saw entrepreneurship rise, but then what we did not see is, of course, it was rising without the proper development. And so proper development of your business. So understanding the foundation of why you're being an entrepreneur. What does it look like to own a business and day-to-day operations? And so we have a lot of folks that weren't ready for that. And then you have a lot of people who've been in business, but guess what? Weren't ready to pivot.
Okay.
So then we had them have to close their doors or reinvent their businesses. And like my one mentor said, how do you shift your business idea from going from brick and mortar to a click and order stage? And that's what COVID did to a lot of them. If you weren't ready to go to that click and order piece of it, then you basically were left behind.
Yeah. Did you see a lot of that happen?
We did see a lot of that happen.
Okay.
It was sad to see it happen. But at the same time, we saw more that were established, more businesses established through the pandemic. Because guess what? I could stay home and do business at home with my coffee mug, my feet up on a chair, and with the internet, and I'm selling products and services that way.
Exactly. Yeah. So are there new, I guess, are there new challenges now that you have to get the entrepreneurs prepared for? Are there supply chain challenges? Are there different things like that? Kind of like you talked about, maybe your business needs to lean more heavily on the digital side than on the in-person side? Or are you adjusting how you're coaching them?
Yes, absolutely. So, of course, the supply chain has brought a lot of folks to a halt when it comes to their businesses. But a lot of the businesses we deal with, it hasn't so much impacted their lives because they're startups, and so what they need, they could basically get on a smaller scale. So it's not been as rough with them when it comes to that. But then the whole thing too with that again is the disadvantages. We're at a point right now in our economy where prices are skyrocketing, and so that means there's supplies are skyrocketing when it comes to pricing. And so just navigating through that financial piece of it, how do I remain relevant as a business owner and still maintain a profit in the midst of an economy that's seen inflation like never before?
What types of businesses are you seeing get started by these entrepreneurs?
It's such a large range, which is beautiful. So we have home health care, we have trucking companies being established, we have graphic designs, marketing services being established. So it's ranging.
These sound like big operation. I guess I always think of little, you know what I
mom
mean?
and pops.
Yeah, kind of stuff like that. Yeah.
And then we still have even like the ones that are the little, like just doing little things like soaps and lotions and things like that on the side. But at the same time, it's amazing that I'm getting people that are like, I bought a building. Oh, you did? Great. Okay. And this is the vision for the building. And so we're getting, I mean, when I say the spectrum is large, it is. It's large scale.
Do you say, ask us next time before you buy another one? You know, not that it wasn't a good idea, but before you buy your second one.
I would say that if they had a mortgage on it, but if you just buy a building, I'm like, that's, owning property is always a good thing.
That's great.
So now let's go ahead and find out what we're going to do with it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the programs that are available at the Minority Business Assistance Center.
Yes.
MBAC.
MBAC.
Right, I got it. Okay, but you also encompass the, I don't know the names of them, but there's
the women's program, the Women in Entrepreneurship program, and then the Youth Entrepreneurship program.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Well, let's keep them separated for now, just so that we can keep track.
Okay.
So let's start with the minority, the MBAC stuff. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about some of the programs that are maybe upcoming, or
yes.
You go, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
You do. You're doing good. You know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know the programs. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So the MBAC program, actually, we serve 7 counties in our region. So my reach goes from Ashtabula all the way down to Monroe.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that.
Yes.
That it was that big.
Yes, yes. So for us, like we have some programming, like in one of the counties, we're working with their NAACP chapter, getting with their city council and city officials to do some business programs and workshops there. When I mentioned business development earlier, it's like the business plan piece of it, right? Mm-hmm. So like in April 9th, we're hosting at Bright in Warren, we're going to host a workshop for business plan building. So it's all about putting the business plan together so you get funders to look at you or investors to look at you, or even for you just to look at it and know what your vision is for your business.
Right.
So we have that program coming up. We have another program that we're coming up with, and I believe that's going to be the last weekend in April. And it's a boot camp that we're working on 2 days. And it, again, is go-to-market strategy. It is for those businesses that are established but struggling and not making that revenue. So helping them to get to that point. So that's the MBAC side of the house right now. Okay. And then we do a lot of counseling, like hundreds of hours of counseling every month.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Wow. All right.
We stay busy.
I get hundreds of hours of counseling a month also. That's for different reasons. Yeah.
It's okay.
That's all right. If you have time after we're done,
yeah,
I have some stuff I'd like to get off my chest.
That falls under my hat too sometimes, is the counseling.
All right. Well, let's talk about the other 2 programs also, or the other 2. Yeah. So the women's program, that is my baby. That vision, I believe we started that in 2016. And that, of course, was something that I put together with an accelerator program. It's been successful. And to be honest, I didn't think it would be as successful as it was when we started it. But then it's just like, oh my gosh, this is traction and has really developed some great female entrepreneurs in our community. Yeah. So that program right now, we are doing a Create class. And that's 5 weeks where we go through business model canvas with our clients. And so we're meeting every Wednesday night in the evening for 2 hours for 5 weeks. And we're just learning like how to take your idea and your beginning stage of your business to the next level, where we can now take you to our launch class, which is in the summer in 9 weeks. So the Create class, we give you a $500 prize at the end to the person who pitches the best. Right. And then the launch is the $5,000. And then in the fall, we do a Grow, which is 4 weeks, and we give $1,000 to those established businesses. I looked it up, and women-owned businesses have increased 21% over the last 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, again, I've had a great relationship for some reason. I don't know how the connection happened. Yes, I do. But the connection happened because of a young lady at the Secretary of State's office, Secretary LaRose. And so even then, he was saying to me maybe about about 2 years ago now, that he wanted to get the certification for women in the state of Ohio. I'm working on this stuff. I'm going to get this done, da-da-da. And he did. So now, through our program, we have WBE, the Women Business Enterprise. So now women are getting certified. and it's crazy. The women are coming through like, I want the certification. And I'm doing more certifications for women than I am anyone else.
Okay, wow.
So they are taking advantage of these certifications. And I think, again, women, being at home, it was that let me reinvent myself. And we wear so many hats. That's a whole nother subject. I got to get out of the house. But we wear so many hats as women. We think we could take it all in and we're just this, and we are, but sometimes we just, we just take this whole, I got the world on my shoulders personality. And so I think for us as business owners, it was just like, I might as well just own my own business. Then I can control my schedule, my income, everything. So, yeah. We see that a lot. Mm-hmm.
And then let's talk about the Youth Entrepreneurship Program.
Yes, I love that program.
Right. Which, I mean, basically, and that's kind of, building that whole culture from the ground up.
Absolutely. That's why I love it.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole vision. It was just, when you work with grown people, it's like, let me go back in time and get you when you were younger.
Right.
And then I could change your mindset then. And that's why that youth program started. I felt like they were the ones that if we could grab you young enough to start thinking like an entrepreneur, whether you own a business or not, that mindset is what I want from you, that ownership mindset. So if I work for you or somebody, or I work for myself, I have a different mindset than the typical person.
What does that program do?
So when we started it last year, we started out for the inner city kids. We wanted to focus on them first. Mm-hmm. So we did a hackathon with Case Western. And then we did 15 weeks of a launch pad. So they came in for every Wednesday for 15 weeks. And we worked with some students, and they left us with their LLC. They left us with the EIN number. Some of them had websites developed and everything, and packaging for branding and everything.
What ages?
9 through 17.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Our youngest entrepreneur is 9 years old. She sells shea butter, and Nairo shea butter, people. The Nairos use it every day. And I'm not the only one. We have so many people in our community that support. But yes, from 9 on. And so really excited about that program. We did Lemonade Day with the kids in the city, Parks and Rec last summer, Beatitude House. And now we're taking it to another level this year.
Okay.
So we're starting something called The Experience, the Youngstown Experience with the X. And so the experience is all about this HoloLens 2, and you put it on your headset, and I'm gearing it towards the city kids, like Youngstown City School students is who I want to target right now. And it's about them being able to leave their environment without ever leaving their environment. So I could take them to Africa on a safari with the HoloLens, and we're still in Youngstown, Ohio.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So it breaks the barrier of how do we get our kids to be exposed to things when they don't have mobility and they don't have the connections and they don't have the money. Mm-hmm. And so the HoloLens answers all of that, because we have some other organizations in our community that are now buying them, and they're coming into agreement with us that now your kids could come to my place of business with the HoloLens right in the school building or at the YBI, and we are taking them on a tour, and it's like you're actually walking through the facility.
Sure, yeah. So you kind of get an idea of,
You can even touch stuff.
What the jobs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You can touch stuff?
Yeah, so you have to come see it. I have to have you come down.
Work?
We've been giving people the experience behind the scene, like, you come see what this is. And yesterday we had an educator in the room, and her whole time they were like, close your mouth, like your mouth is open, because it's just like, wow.
How can you touch stuff?
Oh my gosh, you'll have to come see it. When you put this HoloLens on, literally, like, I don't need a keyboard, I don't need any of this. Everything comes through my wrist. I can pinch a flower like this and bring it to me and look at it.
Oh, okay, all right.
You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So now I can touch stuff in virtual reality or augmented reality.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a real good program. It's dope. It's so many things that we have in store for us. So I can't wait for that to roll out officially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know when's that rolling out?
I really wanted to have it implemented into my summer programs with my kids. So hopefully we'll have the catalog. We're trying to get a catalog together. So that the educators or whoever is working with the students at the time, we can choose from this catalog what activity we're going to do today through the HoloLens. So, yeah.
You can read more on this topic in the mid-March issue of the Business Journal, which is available in print or online. Click subscribe at businessjournaldaily.com to see our plans and choose the one that's right for you. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Mike Moliterno.
717 Credit Union. Business services designed to meet your daily needs. Commercial loans, business deposits, merchant and payroll services. 717 Credit Union. It's knowing you were treated right every time.